Hi everyone, this is X Paco from X's Toy Universe, and today we're talking about a Transformers third-party figure from DX9 called Chigurh, which is essentially Astrotrain. This is less of a review and more of a comparison with existing CHUG lines. Now, because some of you still ask what is CHUG, it's Classics, Henkei, Universe, Generations, or essentially anything that's mainline. This is a comparison with toys from that main line from the Transformers toy lines. And the reason that I picked this Astrotrain is because he essentially looks really great in his alt modes next to the regular CHUG scale figures. So we're gonna go ahead and talk about a little bit of his articulation. Everything that's standard is there. There's not a lot of limitations to him, so you can swivel his head, you can swing his arms upward and outward, no problem there. You've got ratchet joints here, you've got double joints here on the upper arms, but that's mostly to facilitate transformation. You've got articulation on the fingers, as well as the ability to rotate the wrist. And you've got standard knee articulation, ankle rockers, ankle tilts. Pretty much everything is there. Essentially, this is marketed as a masterpiece substitute, but as you can see, there is a bit of a problem with this figure in that his hips can be very loose, especially on mine, because I got this figure in the secondary market. So if I even look at him the wrong way, he's going to just plop backwards like that. But luckily, there is a replacement part that comes with another DX9 figure, DX9's Blitzwing. It comes with this hip replacement for DX9 Chigurh or Astrotrain. So I'm gonna do another video to compare how the figure overall feels like without the replacement hip joints and with a replacement hip joint, but that's gonna be for another time. So for now, I just wanted to show you, all the usual stuff with regard to articulation, and the look is right, the look is pretty much spot on. And oh, we forgot to flip this down. There, you can actually do that to cover up his hips, but they don't do much to prevent the hips from falling. So we're gonna talk about how the hip replacement is possibly going to help with that, but essentially, it's a really good representation of Astrotrain. So if there was one reason why I got this Astrotrain, it's because it actually looks like a train. I mean, look at it. It is a convincing mix of steampunk and modern train. It does not look like it's going to turn into a robot. It does not look like it's going to turn into a space shuttle. And to me, that's pretty good. I mean, it's convincing enough to be a triple changer with different modes, and it actually looks different in each mode. That's one. And the other is that even if it's supposedly a masterpiece figure, if I sat it down here and I compared it to, say, Siege Prime, they look about the right size together. And I'm going to put it near this KBB Bumblebee, and it looks great together. Like, they look like they're the right scale. So if I were to put a human-sized CHUG scale minifigure here, it looks like just the right size. And for me, the alt mode scale is key. The robot scale should follow what the alt mode scale is. And I understand that not everybody is like that. A lot of folk would prefer the robot modes to scale the same way they do in G1. But if you want like robots in disguise, so to speak, where the alt modes dictate the size of your robot modes in scale, then this is a really, really good fit. And as you can see, it looks great with this Voyager Siege and this Bumblebee. And I'm going to bring in a deluxe figure just so you can have an idea how it looks. There you go. And here he is with Siege Megatron. Although this is a modified Siege Megatron, but essentially that's how they scale together. They look pretty good. So here is Astrotrain as a reasonably good looking space shuttle. Now I understand that it's a bit fat, but it's unmistakably a space shuttle. It's not a giant box with a nose cone hanging from it. So that's essentially what attracted me most to this version of Astrotrain, is because it actually looks like a space shuttle. I mean, yes, like I said, it could be longer, but it's unmistakably a jet. It doesn't look like a train that turned into a jet. It doesn't look like a box that turned into a jet. It looks like a space shuttle. So that's why I got convinced to get this instead of any of the other versions. And here he is with a reasonably CHUG scaled human. And here he is with Bumblebee from KBB. And here he is with Deluxe Cup from Titan's Return. And just for further comparisons, here he is with Siege Megatron and also Siege Optimus Prime. And like I said, the scale is really pretty good. And it's a convincing shuttle, so that's really all I want. I'm very happy with it. So now I'm gonna go ahead and compare him to Siege Megatron. And as you can see, he does tower over Siege Megatron. Now, you're probably like, but X, they should be the same size in bot mode. Yeah, but I'm the kind of collector that would prefer that the alt modes scale better and let whatever comes of that be the deciding factor in my bot scaling. So essentially, I scale alt modes instead of robot modes. And I like what this is giving me because essentially this is how they look in Cyberverse with Astrotrain towering over everybody. And here he is with Earthrise Optimus Prime, and as you can see, he's also so much bigger. So overall, I really love this figure, and I would recommend him to anybody who prioritizes alt mode over bot mode in terms of scale, and he looks really good. And to be honest, guys, if we're talking about masterpiece scaling, he fails in that regard anyway, because he's too small to be next to pretty much any masterpiece figure in terms of alt mode. In bot mode, may be forgivable, but in terms of having him actually scale in vehicle mode, which is something that you'd also want him to do, that's not something that he can do. But in CHUG scale, he's perfect. Anyway, thank you so much for having joined me today. Also stay tuned because I'm going to be doing another video talking about the hip replacement that comes from DX9's. Till next time, this has been X's Toy Universe.